let's say you're a 40-year-old man. You're not going to, if you want to have a family, you want to have children, you're not going to pair with a 40-year-old woman because the likelihood that she's going to be able to bring a pregnancy to term is minuscule. So as a 40-year-old guy, you're going to be looking younger. You're going to be looking late 20s, 30s, in that age range. You're going to always be looking younger because for biological reality, women at a certain age can no longer bring a child to term. So it's, on an intellectual level, like I can think, okay, I'm not going to try to date a 40-year-old if I want to have kids, but also it's an evolutionary thing. We look for indicators of youth, and that's what we find attractive.
I get that point, and I would say that's a good percentage of the reason why, whatever, but I would think it's unfair to say that's the majority, because like where I think of the stereotypical huge age gap relationship, it's usually the divorced older man who already has his kids, an ex-wife who's now getting with the hot young 20-year-old. They don't even have kids 99% of the time, the guys who seek out these young girls. Let me not say 99 because I know you guys are going to kill me for that. When I see most of these men with the younger girls, I honestly don't see most of them reproducing with them. Maybe on occasion, like on freaking Modern Family with Sofia Viagra, but usually they're not having kids, but I get it.
Go ahead.
Just so your thing about age gap kind of like just doesn't resonate with me because my parents have a 22-year age gap, and my dad was a divorced grandfather when he met my mom, who was 22 years younger and engaged, and he broke up her engagement as a divorced grandfather. And
how old was your mom?
My mom was 30 and my dad was 50.
I think age gaps are automatically thrown out the window when 30 is involved.
Okay, I don't get that then. I don't know
because once you hit 30, you've gone through so much of your lifespan and you're so far away from 18 and like.
So do you think women aren't truly adults until they're 30? Like they don't really have a full life?
I never said that, but I think that a lot of women under the age of 25 or closer to that point don't have a lot in common with men who are 50 plus or whatever, and I think they do have more characteristics of just being young. I feel like once you're at 30, like especially my coworkers that I know, once they're at 30, you're just at a more adult place in your life. Not everybody, obviously, everybody's different, everybody ages differently, but most 30-year-olds I know are at the same range as 40-year-olds and plus than my 25 and under friends that I know. So like I don't want to be 22 living in my dorm in IV with 8 people going on, and then my boyfriend is dropping off his 3 kids to school or is going to be welcoming his, grandchild or something. Like, it's just different realms.
We don't want that either.
I'm not saying you do, but she was just bringing up the age gap. Why I don't think 30 is different, because I think somebody at 30 is doing different things than somebody at 22, 23.
I'd agree with that. I don't think the guys I don't think men should be shamed, though, for having those preferences. As a woman, I'll say that because, and I don't think it's demeaning to women that they do. And the reason being is because it's biologically wired into them. Mm-hmm. So it's not them doing that to be, it's just a way.
Can I ask you a question?
Hold on, I'll let you come in really quick.
So,
just to add to her point, it's rooted in biology and evolutionary. It's hardwired attraction traits. Go ahead.
But what about like the opposite? So if all these men of all these ages are all going for like the same age group, is there any like young men that are like, well, I don't stand a chance in hell, I'm not particularly rich and stuff, all I have is my youth? Is there any like, what about the sugar mama situation? Is there like the young men that's just like, well, I'm young, dumb, and full of cum, I don't want to get some bitch pregnant because that's a whole thing to deal with, and like I could just go for them old baddies and they got their own money and they don't give a shit that I'm poor. I mean, right?
So I'll speak to that. I dated a woman who's 45.
Right.
On the finances side,
need anything. I mean, maybe she wanted sex, but maybe financially.
And she didn't have children, so she was, there weren't issues there. But I mean, it certainly wasn't a sugar mama situation.
Right. I mean, it didn't have to exactly be that. I was just thinking, it's like if everyone's going for the same young girls, what are the young guys going for? Like, do they stand a chance? If
you ask men like what they find attractive, they will say that, but most men probably like they're not going to have either be physically attractive enough or be of a certain status level to be able to, if you're 35 but you're kind of a bum, you're good luck with the 20-year-olds. But Tatum, did you want to come in on this? Your thoughts.
My thoughts
on the
on
whole
it.
age gap.
Age is just a number to me, so it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, though, like if I was a 22-year-old and a 40-year-old was pursuing me, I would think that's a little creepy. I'm not
If
gonna
you
lie.
were a what? If
I was like a 22-year-old and a 40-year-old was pursuing me, I would probably find that a little strange.
You'd find it strange.
I would find it strange because I'd be like, what do I have to offer you? Like, you know what
Your
I'm
beauty?
saying? Like,
Yeah, your beauty, your youth, your fertility.
Yeah.
That sounds.
Bro, like
So
that.
much objectifying here.
I know it's very triggering,
Not
but
your
it's the truth.
personality. Definitely not that.
no, I totally understand. And when you guys said,
Obviously, assuming she has a personality, those are the benefits
Maybe legs
that
and
comes with
feet
it.
too. She can walk over and then suck that big old.
What the fuck?
I mean,
It's just like.
But just to clarify, because I know I sound like the freaking Grim Reaper of all men, I would say the exact same thing to a 40-year-old woman pursuing an 18-year-old boy. I would say the exact same thing. It's not one side. It's just we just normally see the other side. So it's not like I would be like, oh yeah, old woman wants to pursue a little. Like I wouldn't say that at all.
But if
I think
both
it's both
parties are
wrong.
consensual, why do you want to control what other
Because
people do?
I have been in the situation now where since
Have you been preyed on by
yes,
an older guy?
multiple times.
Okay.
When I was in my youth, that's all I experienced, especially because I was heavier then. I had a fat ass, I had big tits when I was younger.
What?
That's all, and I would say like I'm 14, I'm 12. It doesn't matter. We just don't need to tell anybody. Like, they don't need to know. I saw it so
That's
much in my
gross.
life.
That's
And I
gross.
work with children and I work with high school kids.
Yeah.
So I see it firsthand so often. So that's why I am so passionate about this, because maybe I just see it more often than you would as just a normal person. But
That makes
it
sense.
just happens so
That makes
often in
sense.
front of me, as to why I am a little bit more suspicious
Yeah.
when I do see those men who want the younger ones, because I have people
Yeah.
who are supposed to be my employees and I'm their manager and they're 16 years old crying to me because their 30-year-old
Okay.
boyfriend broke up with them.
Men
That's
of
like, that shouldn't be
That
happening.
makes sense. I personally never see it. So,
So that's why I wanted to show you my side.
yeah, thank you for explaining that.
I mean, men of any age who find women between the age of 18 to 25 physically attractive, I mean, yes, are there predators out there? Of course, but I mean, we're talking about such a fringe. It's a very small amount of what we're talking about here, so it's not even worth having this conversation. If you want to, like, you're using this very extreme example to make your argument. We can have a conversation
What
of
extreme example am I
well,
using?
you're trying to say men who are attracted to women, say between the age of 18 to 22, there's something else there. We can argue. Hold on.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's where you were going, though.
No, I'm
we
saying-
can have, but okay, we can have a discussion of, man, why don't men want to date women their own age? We can have that discussion, but to frame men who are attracted to women who are, say, between the age of 18 to 23 as something more than just men who are attracted to beautiful adult women, it's kind of, I don't think it's a fair argument to be making.
That's your opinion, and I just disagree. And that's like, and I'm personally, my last few people I've dated have been 30, and I'm 22.
Bro,
so it's not like I'm against a huge ass age. What?
You're 22.
What the
I'm
f- why are
22.
we even
I
having this
already
conversation then?